Welcome back to the Unlicensed Therapist. If you've been following along, you know we've spent the last few episodes talking about identity, supervision, and what it really means to grow into this profession. Today, we're talking about something that every new clinician will encounter. Every old clinician will encounter it too, and pretty much no one really understands it. Junior license. The LAPC, the LMSW, the LSW, the APC, the AMFT, the alphabet soup of early career credentials. These licenses go by different names depending on the state and discipline, but they all serve the same purpose. They're a bridge between being a student and becoming a fully licensed clinician. And yet, most people don't know what they allow you to do, what they don't allow you to do, and why they even exist, which states use them, how they differ from full licensure, and why they are absolutely essential for the safety of both the clinicians and clients. So today, we're going to break it all down, clearly, honestly, and without the jargon. Because junior licenses are not just a formality, they're the foundation of your professional identity. Let's start with the basics. A junior license is a provisional, associate, or pre-independent license that allows you to practice therapy under supervision while you accumulate the hours required for full licensure. Let me say that again. A junior license allows you to practice, but not independently, under administrative, clinical, and licensure supervision while you accumulate the hours required for full licensure. Different states use different names, but the purpose is the same. You are legally allowed to practice, but not independently. Here are the most common junior licenses across the U.S. For counseling, there's the LAPC, or Licensed Associate Professional Counselor, the APC, Associate Professional Counselor, LPC Associate, that's in Texas, the PLPC, Provisionally Licensed Professional Counselor, and LLPC, Limited Licensed Professional Counselor, that's in the state of Michigan. Social work has the LMSW, Licensed Master Social Worker, LSW, Licensed Social Worker, LSW Provisional, and that varies by state. Marriage and Family Therapy has the AMFT, Associate Marriage and Family Therapist, the LAMFT, Licensed Associate Marriage and Family Therapist, and psychology has the Psychological Associate and Provisionally Licensed Psychologist. As for addiction counseling, they have the CADC intern and the LADC candidate. Every state has its own structure, but the pattern is consistent. Junior license equals you can practice, but you must be supervised. Full license equals you can practice independently. Let's talk about the differences between this, because that's where people are getting confused. That's where they get confused. So the first difference is independence. That junior license holder cannot practice independently. So that means that no putting up your own shingle and running your own practice. So you can't open a private practice. because you cannot bill insurance under your own name in most states, and you have to work under supervision. What does that mean? In many states, in many places, you have the option of working as a W-2 employee or a 1099 independent contractor. In most states, with an associate's license, you need to be a W-2 employee because of that word independent in front of that contractor title in that 1099. Because with that junior license, you have to have a licensure supervisor, a clinical supervisor, and typically that means that there's an administrative supervisor that comes along with that. Now, the full license holders don't need those things because they can practice independently. After a period of time, under certain circumstances, they can supervise others for licensure. They can bill insurance, and that means they can open a private practice. So, difference number 2, legal responsibility. With a junior license, your supervisor is legally responsible for your clinical work. Your licenses are linked together. You get a bad mark, it affects your licensure supervisor. You must meet regularly for licensure supervision. Your licensure supervisor must sign off on your hours. With full license, you're legally responsible for your own actions. You no longer need supervision. However, I would strongly recommend that those with licenses meet together when possible for consultations, just so you don't feel all alone. And there's a track or rules in each state to where you can reach a point where you can supervise others. Difference number 3 is scope of practice. Junior license holders can provide therapy, diagnose in many states but not all, create treatment plans, and work in agencies, hospitals, schools, community mental health, and sometimes in group practices. But they cannot provide licensure supervision, practice independently, make certain high-risk decisions without oversight. So that last one is going to vary slightly. Most places that I've worked, it's fallen to if someone is homicidal or suicidal, that you would reach out to someone with a licensure for assistance. There were some diagnoses that we were forbidden to give without consulting someone with a license, and certain other clinical practices that we just couldn't do, period. So the 4th difference, billing. This varies by state and insurance panel, but generally, junior license holders bill under the agency or supervisor, while the fully licensed clinician bills under their own NPI number. Now the 5th difference, personal identity. Junior license equals clinician in training. Full license equals independent clinician. Both are valid. Both are needed. Both are part of your journey. If you're in that junior license phase, this is where you are seeking out your voice, learning who you want to be as a clinician. This is a beautiful and wonderful time. So, which states hold junior license and why? The truth is, pretty much all states have them. They may call them something different, their requirements may be different, but the structure is the same. So why do states use junior licenses? Because therapy is a high-risk profession. You're working with trauma, assessing for suicide, navigating ethics, managing crises, holding people's deepest pain. No one should be doing that alone right out of grad school. Could you imagine, right out of grad school, being handed someone with multiple complex mental health concerns and being expected to be on your own and support them? That's why junior license exists, to protect the client, to protect you, the clinician, to ensure that there's quality of care, ensure ethical practice, provide structured mentorship, reduce liability, and create a clear path to full licensure. Now, there are a few states that have unusual structures. For example, some states allow you to practice with a master's degree, but require supervision without issuing a formal associate's license. Some states require you to pass an exam before you can get the junior license, while other states require you to get the junior license and then take the exam. It's a patchwork system, but the purpose is consistent. You must be supervised, licensure-wise, clinical-wise, and administrative-wise before you can be independent. Let's talk about why junior licenses matter, not just legally, but emotionally and professionally. They give you a safety net. You're not expected to know everything, especially right out of grad school. You're not expected to know how to handle every crisis alone. You're not expected to know what to do the first time you have someone who has active suicidal ideations. You're not expected to be perfect. That's why you have a supervisor who is there to guide you, challenge you, protect you, to help you to grow. Another reason is they protect the clients. Clients deserve clinicians who are supported, who are supervised, who are learning, who are accountable. Junior licenses ensure that. Reason number 3 is that they allow you to build your professional identity. This is where you learn your style, your voice, your boundaries, your strengths, your blind spots. This is where you can go mentor under different people and learn different unique styles that you didn't even know existed. Reason number 4, they prevent burnout. Supervision is not just oversight. It is emotional support. It is mentorship. It is a place to process the weight of the work. The final reason, the clearest reason, is the junior license creates a clear path to growth. You go from master's degree to junior license. Junior licensed allows you to be supervised by a licensed professional. This allows you to grow and become fully licensed yourself, and it opens up the doorway to optionally becoming a supervisor later down the road or some form of leadership role. It's a ladder. and every rung matters. Now, let's be real. There are some pros and cons when it comes to a junior license. They can be helpful, but they're also very frustrating. So, what are those pros and cons? Well, the pros are that you get structured support. You're not alone. You learn faster. You develop confidence. You reduce ethical risk. You build a strong foundation. You have someone to consult during a crisis. For me, one of the biggest pros is group supervision, being able to not only bounce an issue off of my supervisor, but off of peers who are working in different locations and wondering how they might handle the same situation. Often hearing back that how you're handling it is exactly what they would do is a confidence booster. Now, what are some of the cons? You can't practice independently. You will earn less. You may have limited job options. You may pay for supervision in some states, and yes, that can be expensive. You may have multiple supervisors. Now, when I say multiple supervisors, we're not just talking about the licensure supervisor, clinical supervisor, or administrative supervisor. I'm saying that you may go from one job where they're offering you free supervision, so you have one licensure supervisor, and then go somewhere else where they're offering it to you, so you would have a second licensure supervisor. Licensure supervisor A would stop, and B would pick up where A left off. You may get conflicting feedback. You may feel not fully a therapist. Both things can be true. Junior licensees are essential. Junior licenses are annoying, but they're temporary, and they are worth it. Junior licenses are not a punishment. They are not a barrier. They're not a sign that you're not ready. What they are bridges between you and who you were trained to be and who you are becoming. So if you have your LAPC, your LMSW, your AMFT, or your PLPC, you're not almost a therapist. You are a therapist. You are learning, you're growing, you are building the foundation that will carry you through your entire career. If today's episode helped clarify the world of junior licenses, please subscribe to the Unlicensed Therapist. Share this episode with a classmate or a colleague. And remember, every therapist starts here. You're not behind the 8 ball. You're on the path. Next week, we're going to get to an episode that I've been pushing off, but it's time we get there. The ethics tightrope walk. I look forward to seeing you all then. Talk to you later.